Welcome, everyone, to Know Before You Go. I'm your host, Laurel Burton, and I'm with JSA, the brand agency for the World Trade Centers Association, or WTCA for short. WTCA is an organization dedicated to facilitating international business across more than 300 cities and 90 countries worldwide. And today, in our conference briefing, we're going to be focused on WTCA's 54th Annual Global Business Forum, taking place March 3rd through 6th at the Sheraton Grand Hotel in Bengaluru, India. It's a city that's often referred to as India's own Silicon Valley, and it's an epicenter for international trade. Using your QR code that you're going to see on your screen, you're going to have additional details about the event and everything that we're going to cover in today's conversation. So with that in mind, let's get started. First, we're going to discuss the Global Business Forum itself, who should attend, the event's unique corporate matchmaking format, as well as agenda highlights. And then we're going to follow this testimonial with a veteran of this conference and hear from him why this is a not-to-miss event for anyone in international business community. And finally, we're going to delve into conference details, such as your travel checklist, event logistics, and even an exploration into India's vibrant culture. So with that in mind, I am so happy to be joined by Vineet Verma, the Managing Director of World Trade Center Bengaluru, and this year's host of the Global Business Forum. Welcome, Vineet.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm great. Pleasure to have you here too. Why don't we begin by you telling us a little bit about yourself and the Global Business Forum?
So I represent Brigade Group of Bangalore. We are the owners of 6 World Trade Centers, including Bangalore, Chennai, Kochi, Trivandrum, Devanahalli, and Hyderabad. And we are privileged to be hosting the Global Business Forum 2024 in Bangalore this time. And for those of you who may not be aware, this is the second time in the history of India that this is being hosted here in this country. And the first time it was held in Mumbai quite some years ago. So a good deal of pressure on us to make sure that we perform and that all of you who come here to India go back happy with sweet memories. And so as far as the Global Business Forum is concerned, this is the first time it's being called as such, as you know. It has always been known as a General Assembly. So technically, this is the 54th General Assembly, but the first ever Global Business Forum. And the idea is this time the focus has shifted not just to the General Assembly of the World Trade Center members, but also involve and include and promote businesses from across the world. So we are really looking forward to that.
Well, wonderful. That's a great explanation. So Vineet, who should be attending this event? And maybe you can tell us a little bit about why this event is going to be epic.
First of all, I invite almost every World Trade Center member. We have more than 320 World Trade Centers across the globe. All are invited. And this time, for the first time, we're also inviting all the businesses that they represent, all the business houses that occupy the World Trade Center spaces, and also in the city where they operate. And I'm so happy to inform you that we have nearly 90 B2B delegations registered already, which are outside the World Trade Center membership, and of which 25 of them are from within India, who are waiting to receive the other 65 from across the globe.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Sounds like a great audience coming. And I love the combination of both business and World Trade Center delegations. What a unique combination there. So Vineet, when we talk about WTCA, we know that the mission of WTCA is to facilitate business connections and opportunities globally. And during this event, you're going to be helping organizations do that. Can you tell us a little bit more about how the GBF is going to help businesses expand their presence, not only in India, but also worldwide?
So as I mentioned, that the B2B delegations that are coming in, we are going to do a lot of matchmaking this time. We are going to sort of introduce the similar industries across the table. And that is where we hope that this could be initially an exploratory kind of a visit for most of the businesses that are coming to India for the first time. But ultimately, we are very hopeful that that will result into ultimately them doing business together. So we are looking at both imports and exports. So as you know that right now, the latest mantra for India is made in India. We are very proudly making almost every product in India now. And we are very hopeful that the businesses who come to the World Trade Center Global Business Forum will go away with a lot of value added and they'll hopefully come back to do business with us.
Wonderful, wonderful. And not only do you have the Business Expo, but you really have 12 industry verticals represented and corporate tours. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. In fact, a lot of interest is coming from aerospace, agro and food processing, automobiles, biotechnology, education, tourism, hospitality. And in fact, we have lined up a few sessions, very interesting sessions for the people who come here, where they will gain a lot of knowledge of how to do business with India, because some of them have told me in the past that it's very complicated. So we want to tell them that no, it's no longer complicated to do business with India. And we in fact are doing ease of doing business with India. So we are going to tell them how it can be done. We're also going to tell them the businesses that are available, they can shake hands with. So a lot of excitement ahead, I can assure you.
Oh, absolutely. And I was looking, you have a very impressive list of speakers and dignitaries that are signed up to present. So maybe you can give us a few highlights and maybe what you think is going to be talked about most at the conference.
So to give you an example, I had gone and met our Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri Siddaramaiah. I had gone to meet him for a different purpose altogether. And I happened to mention to him that, look, sir, we also have this global business forum happening where you're going to have 90 countries and all. So he stopped there and then he said, look, whether I come for your immediate event or not, but please mark me down for the Global Business Forum. So that's the kind of excitement it has generated. And I'm very happy to inform you that he has confirmed his participation. In fact, he's going to be our chief guest. And some of our delegates are going to get a chance to meet with him. And we also have our Deputy Chief Minister. The other interesting part is that as a part of the inauguration, we are going to be releasing a report called India as an investment destination with focus on Karnataka. And that report is going to be released by the Chief Minister along with the Deloitte CEO of India, Deloitte. He's going to be one of our guests of honor. So you're going to get a lot of value there as well, I can promise you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also noticed some other topics, setting up shop in India, understanding the opportunities and challenges, and what to do in terms of generating, well, actually the impact of AI. Maybe you can tell me a little bit more about that.
So we also have sessions. In fact, I don't mind telling you the sessions I have. Pardon me if I'm going to read them out because there are 4 or 5 of them. And so the first session is going to be, where are the sessions? The first session is going to be generating a new world landscape, the impact of AI across tech startups. And that's the first panel. It's going to be very, very interesting. And in fact, it's going to be moderated by my group's joint managing director, Nirupa. And you also have our member, Remy Swab, is going to be a panelist. And then, of course, we have 2 very, very senior people from the startup sector, including a senior CTO from the Microsoft. He's, as of today, confirmed his participation. So it's going to be a very interesting discussion. And then, of course, the second panel is going to be Made in India, a big box bias perspective. And here again, we have some very, very prominent speakers coming on board. Then we have setting up shop in India, opportunities and challenges from the international viewpoint. Now, this is going to generate a lot of intrigue and interest because I have been receiving a lot of questions that if I was to set up business in India, how do I do it?
Right.
So this is the panel discussion, which you must attend to understand how you can do business with India. And we are going to have speakers who have set up businesses in India in the past, and they will share their knowledge with you. So that's the other one. Then we are talking about innovations in agrotech. Again, a very, very prominent discussion is going to happen on the agro business. In fact, we have received a lot of interest from Canada in terms of agro processing and agrotech. So that's going to be the other one that we are looking at. And then the last but not the least is going to be a discussion on innovations in real estate along with smart cities. Very, very prominent panel discussion where my own chairman has agreed to be a panelist. So, and as you know, he's a doyen of real estate sector in India. So he's going to be a part of this session. So you can really look forward to some very, very interesting sessions during the day.
Wonderful. Well, smart cities is a passion of mine. So I will be there in attendance 100%.
Absolutely.
Great. So your team has also curated some really special experiences above and beyond the speakers and dignitaries we're going to hear about. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about some of the additional items that might be available during our event.
So we have organized a number of industry visits just for us to showcase the best practices being followed in India. So we have actually organized a day visit to Infosys campus. One of the largest campuses is in Bangalore in India. You're going to be seeing that. And then, of course, we have Bosch, a visit to Bosch. We have to a visit to Toyota factory in the skill development. It's a very, very advanced kind of a center. And all of you will get to see the best practices that we follow here. So we have 3 industry visits, 3. And of course, on the agrotech sector, we have Beulah, which again is an international company, which has a base in Karnataka. So some delegates will be going there as well. So these are as far as the best practices in industry is concerned. But we also believe that, that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we have a lot of fun lined up as well. So we have a shopping trip to the city. We have a day tour to Mysore. We have Hassan. We have a lot of things lined up for people who wish to enjoy pre and post conference.
Wonderful. I even understand there's an outdoor market.
I want to talk to you a little more about that. This is what we refer to as the bazaar here. Once you know our venue, as a part of our 40-acre campus, just outside the Sheraton, we have a beautiful mall. And outside the mall, we have a 2-acre lake. And along the lake is the area where we're going to set up the flea market or the bazaar, which is going to showcase India's arts and craft, food of India. In addition, we have B2B booths. We have a lot of number of companies have taken up business-to-business booths. That's where you're going to have your booths coming up as well. It'll be open from 10 in the morning till 10 at night. So if you tend to get a bit bored in any of the sessions, just walk down, do some shopping.
Okay, you don't have to ask me twice. I want to check it all out. Well, that's great. Thank you, Vineet. I appreciate it. I want to turn my attention to one of our other guests that you see on the screen. I would love to introduce everyone to Nicholas Beaty. Nicholas is going to be leading our French delegation, and he is the manager of World Trade Center Rennes Bretagne. Nicholas, welcome.
Thank you, Laurel.
Thanks for joining me today. And first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship with WTCA?
Well, Laurel, I've been with the WTCA for 6 years now, and I manage World Trade Center Rennes Bretagne. Actually, we're a business club of over 100 member companies, as well as institutional partners that work internationally. We organize anywhere between 25 and 30 events per year on international trade. And we also work closely with a network of partners for trade services. Bretagne Commerce International, Business France, the French Public Bank, BPI France, the French Trade Advisors. Some of our partners actually were mobilized to help me and the Francophone Initiative in the organization of our trip to Bengaluru and in the organization of an evening at the French Consulate in Bengaluru with the local French business community on Tuesday, March 5th during the GBF.
That sounds pretty interesting. And, I'm considering you one of the veterans here, and that's what I want to ask you about. You've attended this event in the past, not necessarily in Bengaluru, but this travels every year. So I was wondering, maybe you can give us a little bit of background and tell us about your experience and what is so special about the Global Business Forum and the General Assemblies from the past.
Well, I don't know if I'm a veteran, but yes, I have been to other, what we used to call General Assemblies and now GBFs. Leeuwarden in 2018, as well as Lisbon, which was a European regional meeting combined with a remote General Assembly in 2022. And I also attended the remote ones during the pandemic. For Leeuwarden, I had only been part of the WTC family actually for 4 months now, 4 months at that point. And it was a fabulous event, wonderful atmosphere. EJ and his team went all out during that event. And as a rookie in the family, I was greeted with open arms. I took part in my first MAC, Member Advisory Council meeting. At that point, we had a business center project in Rennes. And I got to see our very own Ed Allison Wright moderate the meeting. I want to say that I met Scott Center from WTC Savannah there, but it might have been in New York during the next member seminar. I just wanted to cite his name as he mentioned me in the latest newsletter. It's been And I met, of course, key WTC members, Mariette at that point, at that time in Winnipeg, Karen at WTC Denver, Luciano in Brazil, John Drew, our chairman. I met also there some Dutch companies in the water energy sector, and I got to discover Friesland and visit some companies, Friesland, the region in northern Netherlands.
Nice. Well, what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to talk about Lisbon a little bit, as this was um, uh, an interesting GA, in that it was a European event combined with a global event, and I got to see there some WTCs that were closer to home, and I just wanted to say that it's always good to put a face on a name and to know the person to whom you will be sending a company to in the future. We usually say that WTC members know people who know people, but I want to add that WTC members know trustworthy people who know in turn trustworthy people. And our GPFs are a great way to build on that trust.
That's a really good point. I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, the connections here, that's the theme I keep hearing from all of you. I understand for Bengaluru, India, you are leading the French delegation of World Trade Centers. Maybe you can give our audience a bit of a feel for what types of conversations and experiences they should anticipate.
Well, actually, yeah, I am leading, quote unquote, a delegation of companies, but I'm also leading it with the newly founded Francophone initiative within our network. Just a quick word on that initiative, which is based on 4 pillars: cooperation between French-speaking WTCs. We share best practices. We have meetings. And the last one was actually in Paris yesterday. We also, the second pillar is about events. We open our events to other French-speaking WTCs. We have a third pillar, which are partnerships, where we find private partners. We have partnerships with the Accor Group, for example. And the fourth pillar is development, where we help out the WTCA in getting more licenses in French-speaking countries. But the delegation to Bengaluru will be composed of WTC managers and representatives of WTC. So I have a list of Lille, Marseille, Poitiers, Metz, Paris, Rennes, Algiers, Winnipeg, and we're still waiting on a couple other confirmations from different WTCs. And as for the French companies coming with us, at this point, we'll have companies in the agribusiness, heavy handling, and consulting sectors. Something that I want to stress and to point out is that India is a strategic market for French companies. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Paris last year with President Emmanuel Macron for Bastille Day. President Macron was in India last month and met with a bunch of companies, French companies, but also Indian companies there. And, you know, Indian and French companies have been working together for some time now. And due to many factors, maybe because we see more and more Indian students in France, we see a growing number of opportunities in diverse sectors in India, things are accelerating now. And as I said, we're actually organizing an event, you know, on March 5th at the French Consulate in Bengaluru with the French business community. I just want to take this opportunity to thank also Laurie Grechnik at WTC Lille, who helped us out in the organization of that soiree.
That's wonderful. Again, this is fostering those business connections and doing business globally, which is the whole point. So I love hearing the real thing happen, right, and unfold right in front of us. So tell me a little bit more, Nicholas. I'm going to leave you with one more question here. And how, as the veteran, again, rookie veteran, but I'm going to call you the veteran, what would you say about making sure that our conference attendees have the best networking experience possible? Any activities or special moments to keep in mind?
Well, the way we see it is that there are different levels of networking with WTCs, with WTC's member companies, with Indian companies through B2Bs and site visits, with the French business community in India for the Francophones. We'll have plenary sessions, we'll have company visits, networking events, and lots of memories to take back home and promote the vibrant South, not complicated Indian market, quote unquote, Vineet. Our role as representatives of WTCs is to discover the Indian market, build connections, and bring these connections back home. This GBF, in Bengaluru, in my opinion, is the illustration of a new dawn for French and Indian business relations.
Well said. Well said. I also understand that we are going to be, I know that we're going to be filming a first ever World Trade Center WTCA TV. and that we're going to be doing something similar to this. So we're going to be live streaming straight from the conference floors at the Global Business Forum. And I think that's another opportunity for not only the World Trade Centers, but also the business delegations that are coming to have their own interviews and their moments of fame so that we can share it across WTCA, LinkedIn Live, and other areas. Would you recommend that our businesses also do that? I would imagine so.
Yes, please feel as uncomfortable as I do right now, but do it definitely. Register now for an interview on WTCA TV. Actually, it's the first time that the WTCA is offering live and on-site video broadcasting. Perfect opportunity to tell the world about your company, the business opportunities you seek, and what makes the marriage between business and WTCA so powerful. It seems like videos will be available on the WTCA's YouTube and LinkedIn channels, as well as social media. And from my understanding, you'll receive a fully formatted MP4 file, of your video for your own website and special promotion.
You're 100% correct. And Nicholas, we're thrilled to be able to support that for everyone and share all the stories about those business opportunities and those connections as they're occurring real time in Bengaluru. So we can't wait. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate your time today. I want to round out our conference briefing by also welcoming Sharon Aguayo. Sharon is a member engagement manager for WTCA. And she's here to give our audience some tips on how to make the most of the Global Business Forum, specifically the conference and the location. So Sharon, welcome.
Thank you, Laurel. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. You know, your team built this very comprehensive Know Before You Go booklet. And in it, our attendees are going to find out everything that they need to know about the conference and the specifics. The QR code, again, that's surrounding our frame, I think it takes us right to that booklet, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can go right to it and check out all of our fabulous tips on learning more about India and the culture there. Some Know Before You Go helpful hints before you're traveling and getting ready to prepare for your event there in India with us.
Great. And because we have Vineet here as well as you, what I'd like to do is ask you a few more questions, and maybe we can start with some of the fun facts of India. So Vineet, I'm going to put you on the spot. Maybe you can share a little bit more about Bengaluru, Southern India, and what some of our first-time visitors can expect.
Bengaluru, I would say I've been here 18 years now. I just wanted to give a little background. I grew up in Calcutta, in east of India, but I've been in Bengaluru for 18 years, and I have never, ever regretted my decision to move to Bengaluru. So it's a fun city. It's a Silicon Valley. That's besides the point, but there's a lot of potential for you to have a lot of fun in the city when you are here. It's known as the pub city as well. You get some of the best craft beers around. Nicholas, this is a tip for you. And of course, you can come for food tourism. There's not a single cuisine that is not available in the city. You can actually just step out and have variety of food. A lot of shopping, a lot of good places to see in and around Bengaluru from a tourism point of view, from a hospitality and a historical point of view. So there's loads and loads to do in Bengaluru. I think I would rate it after Mumbai and Delhi. I would rate this as a truly international city. And almost everybody and anybody who comes to Bengaluru wants to settle down here, also because of the weather and the climate. It's never too hot and it's never too cold.
Very good. Any phrases that we should know or a favorite dish that
Namma Bengaluru, which is known as My Bengaluru.
Namma Bengaluru.
That is My Bengaluru. So if any of you were to say this in front of our chief minister, he'll probably come and hug you.
Okay.
Good to know.
Wonderful. Great. So thank you, Vineet. Sharon, on top of what Vineet just shared, I'd be curious if you have some additional recommendations for some of our first-time visitors.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just there. I had the pleasure of being there with the Executive Director of Member Services, Crystal Eden, and our event producer from Ramella, Nell Conway, back in July of last year. And we just had a fabulous time. I will say everyone there is very friendly. So don't feel afraid or not wanting to ask questions if you need help for directions. English is widely well spoken, and people are just willing to help. One of the most things that people are familiar with is namaste. So when you're greeting people, it's really appreciated when you can use that local language as well. They take it as a sign of respect. And if you're able to remember that, I would say just feel free to do that. Also, we're going to talk about food. Okay, so Vineet knows that I am a lover of chai. And everywhere we went when we were in Bengaluru, I was always asking for the masala chai. It's just one of my favorite drinks, and I hope many people will find it to be their favorite drink. But there's so much variety of food. You're going to have an amazing time. I will say we have to be cautious of the spice level if you don't have a very high tolerance, but the hotels and the restaurants are doing this for a living, so they know how to accommodate different palates and acquire that spice level that's to your liking. I like to liking not being familiar with spice or your tolerance for spice if you don't know about it to someone that doesn't know how to swim. So if you don't know how to swim, you're not going to jump into the deep end of the pool. You're going to start in the shallow and maybe dip your toe a little bit. Don't be afraid to try the food, but also too learn about what is more accommodating. So we have butter chicken there. That's great. The chicken tikka masala, which people are mostly familiar with, and other tikka masalas as well. And biryanis, dosas, naan. You're going to have a variety of food to eat. And the culture is just so sweet to top it off.
Aw, that's wonderful. And I'm ready. Bring on the spice. I love it. Okay.
Sharon has called out these names right at my dinner time. I'm feeling hungry already.
And I'm in breakfast time in my time zone, and I'm still hungry. So
Yeah,
I think
I'm looking forward to that craft beer.
Exactly. Okay, well, I'm excited. Sharon, maybe a few more items I'm going to ask about. You have a travel checklist in the booklet. Maybe you can highlight a few of those tips as well.
Yeah, so please refer to that travel checklist. It's important. We want to make sure that you're ready and prepared. First and foremost, you want to make sure you have your passport that's valid for at least 6 months. So if your passport is about to expire, that's really important. You need to have a valid with at least 6 months travel on your passport. Also, your visas. So online visas, it takes some time just because there's a flood of people coming into the system to apply for visas. But make sure you get that. And the team here in New York and the team in Bengaluru is really helpful to answer all your questions. So you can reach out to any of us at any point, and we're happy to walk you through that. You want to make sure that you're up to date with your vaccination. So if you're in the US, you want to check the CDC website. If you're outside, it's the WHO website to make sure that everything is ready and you're good to go. You also want to carry any necessary medications with you that you will need to travel, whether it's something that your doctor refers you to or your everyday medications. Electronics is one of the questions that we've had a lot from our team about. And so you can purchase a SIM card if you need to while you're there in Bengaluru. But I will say, on my phone, for example, I have that international data plan. And even if you don't want to keep that international data plan going, you can do it temporarily until you get to Bengaluru and until you return back home. But there's many options, and Wi-Fi is easily accessible throughout the conference facility and the hotel. So that's not going to be an issue. Travel aids that you want to be mindful of too, in addition to hand sanitizer, is mosquito repellent and sunscreen. So carry that sunscreen with you, and bottled water. Bottled water is a must. So when you're especially going out on the tours, you want to take some water with you because it's a long day out there and then coming back. So make sure you stay hydrated.
Good advice.
May I add my 2 bits to what to just said? As far as the medical support is concerned, please do not worry. We'll have a 24/7 medical doctor available at the conference venue. And we have also signed up with a very well-known hospital. God forbid, I hope the doctors remain idle throughout the conference. But in case there's an emergency, we have this ambulance available, and we have the best of doctors in Bangalore. In fact, we have international patients coming to Bangalore all the way to get themselves treated. So please rest assured, nothing to worry about this. I pray none of you fall sick. But If you do, we have doctors on call 24/7. That's one. Secondly, as far as the water is concerned, yes, Sharon is absolutely right. But please do not bother about carrying your bottles because we'll be providing them for you. So even if you go out on a day tour, your bus or your coach that is going to carry you around is going to have refreshments, water, tissues, hand sanitizer, everything on board. So you can come and just chill, as they say.
I can do that. I'm ready. That sounds great. That sounds great. I understand there's even some setup from beginning at the airport. So what happens once we arrive at the Bengaluru airport?
Yeah, so once you arrive, first, before we talk about the arrival, I just have to talk about the airport. So the T2 terminal, we had a chance to tour, and a lot of our international delegates will be arriving in that T2 terminal. It is phenomenal. It's beautiful. Many of us who travel, especially me being from New York, when you go to an airport, it's never not stressful. You have to worry about arriving on time. You have to worry about getting to the gate, going through TSA. And then when you get to the gate, you're still stressed. The airport there in Bengaluru is absolutely built around that to de-stress you. And I'm not joking. You have waterfalls, you have art, you have green, you have sustainability. It is the most beautiful airport I've ever seen in all my years of travel. And I think that experience itself is going to put everyone in the right mindset when you're arriving into Bengaluru. To help facilitate arrivals that are coming in, we have a help desk in both terminals. So if you're traveling through Terminal 1 or 2, you will have that help desk set up, and you'll see our banner and our logo and branding that says the WTCA GBF, 54th GBF. And it has a welcome desk, and you can look for that and answer any of your questions that you may have about transportation, and they will guide you onto where you need to go. We also have a help desk at the Sheraton Hotel that opens on March 3rd. So at that help desk, if you are not staying at the hotel, you will be able to collect your welcome kits. If you don't collect your welcome kit before the welcome reception, you can collect your badge at the welcome reception there that starts at 6 p.m. on March 3rd as well.
Good. Very good. It sounds like you have everything planned for. Vineet, you already mentioned the on-site tours that are going to be occurring with Toyota, Bosch, Infosys, the Bueller Group. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover in that regard? I think you've already covered it, but really exciting that you do have those on-site tours.
Yes, in fact, one more thing I wanted to also add to the entertainment bit. Our effort is to showcase India, to showcase Karnataka, the history and culture. So you will also we have some surprise performances during the dinner on 3rd, also during the dinner on the 6th, and also during the inauguration day on the 4th. So we will be showcasing some beautiful performances. These are very short performances, 5 minutes each or 10 minutes maximum, but that's going to really enthrall you. It's going to showcase the culture of India.
That's wonderful. I can't wait. I can't wait. You know, the Global Business Forum is certainly unique, and it really differentiates this whole corporate matchmaking. And it's a unique format for an event. So Sharon, as we're concluding today's conversation, I'd love for you to hit upon some of the unique characteristics of Global Business Forums.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. I'm happy to. As we mentioned throughout our chat today, the GBF is really the WTCA's annual premier event, gathering representatives and member WTC locations from around the world, along with their business connections, bringing dignitaries as well. And these connections are really priceless. Having this GBF here in India this year, it's really a vibrant city, and we believe that attendees will be able to expand their global reach by attending. There are present and beneficial opportunities throughout the region. And one of these anecdotes that we like to refer to when we did our last year at the GA in Accra, when we did our testimonials with some of our attendees, the takeaways that we heard from them, the feedback that we received are really priceless. And I just wanted to highlight one of these particular takeaways, which was from a first-time attendee who attended with World Trade Center Delaware. So he was a B2B delegate, and he came from a company that manages global consulting. and their company was providing laboratory equipment to companies in Africa. However, by joining along with World Trade Center Delaware, he knew that this would raise the profile of his company. This was the first time that he was able to travel internationally with WTCA to this GA in Accra. And his first experience was unlike any other. He said it exceeded his expectations. He saw a lot of potential for his business to grow, and he was able to leverage that connection he made, and even led to his making a first sale. And so, in his words, and I quote it, the WTCA takes you closer to high-profile dignitaries, business opportunities, and the WTCA, as he said, was a phenomenal part of helping small businesses to take that one step closer to being global. And with the exposure that he received was unlike anything else. So I will say this GBF promises to be a unique engagement, demonstrating the strength of our network and focusing on these business opportunities across the 12 sectors, as we highlighted earlier.
Well, I can tell it makes complete sense. So, final question for you. Your top 3 tips for getting the most out of the conference.
Top 3. This is the lightning round. Book
That
your
is.
flight, book your hotel, apply for your visa, register for those business tours. You can find all that information on our website and through our emails and e-blasts. So make sure you open those up in our social media channels. And we have campus tours. We have morning yoga, so you don't want to miss that. And don't miss the opportunity to register for your WTCA TV interview on site live.
That sounds great. That sounds like great advice. Well, good. I think we're wrapping up here. And most importantly, I want to thank all of you. So Sharon, Vineet, Nicholas, thank you so much for joining me today on Know Before You Go. It's really been a pleasure to learn more about the event. And so I really do appreciate you. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laurel. See you all in India.
Yes.
Namastar, Bangalore.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Or you can call it namaskar. Namaste or namaskar.
Namaste.
Or just this gesture without saying anything. That's good enough.
That's the one I'm going to do. Well, good. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, I want to remind our audience that the details that we've been talking about today, they're in the QR code. It's somewhere around our frame here. So everything you need to know about the 54th Annual Global Business Forum in Bengaluru, India, it can be found in that QR code. So simply just go there and you're going to find that booklet, let alone all of the details of the agenda, the excursions, and everything else in between. And then during the week of, don't forget to tune in during the week of Global Business Forum for those WTCA TVs that are going to be live streaming from the conference itself. And it's going to be featuring all of the thought leaders from the event. So that's exciting. With that, this is a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in to Know Before You Go. As always, happy networking. And I look forward to seeing you all in India.
See you all. Thank you.